Hello everyone, this is the last day of our first guest week on Transtastic. I couldn't have been more thrilled with the topic. Dana was wonderful. He stripped down to his underwear, he put on a cowboy hat. It's everything I've always wanted. So even though that I'm pretty sure you've watched at least one day this week, so you kind of know what I'm supposed to be answering here, I'm still gonna go over Dana's questions just one more time so we're all on the same page, because I know people have been interpreting his idea differently. So question number one was, if there was a cure to being trans, would you take it? I took that to mean like now. Right now, as a person, would I want to cure my transness and not be trans anymore? The next part of the question is, if there was a vaccination for being trans, should it be given to the masses, to all the newborns, so that there's never going to be anyone transgender again? So my answer to that question is no. And I'm not even saying that because I think being trans is some spectacular thing. No. In fact, for the sake of this question, let's just assume that being transgender is a medical condition that you probably want to be cured of, and that it is a struggle for everyone who falls under that label somehow. My answer to the question is still no, and here's why. I think all of you can agree that being transgender, if we're talking about it in terms of medical condition, is primarily mental. Yeah, sure, you have problems with your physical characteristic, but it's mostly in your head. It's a disconnect between your biological gender and what's in your head, mental. So looking at it this way, we've decided that the vaccination would be curing you of a mental disorder. We've also decided that this mental disorder is something that is definitely a negative thing to go through, so why do I still think that people should not be automatically cured of it from birth? There is something that makes me incredibly uncomfortable about curing someone's brain. Because if there is something wrong, I know I'm using some pretty harsh terminology, but just for the sake of this question, if there is something wrong in your brain and you fix it, you will not be the same person. All of your personality, the way you look at the world, the way you think about everything, that's part of your brain. So, with a vaccination like the chickenpox one, which Chase was talking about, if a kid takes that vaccination, they won't get chickenpox. If a kid doesn't take that vaccination, they will get chickenpox. And either way, they're probably going to end up viewing the world in about the same way. And on the other hand, there's cancer. Yes, if you don't get cancer, you're going to live an entirely different life than one that you would live if you did have cancer, and you will look at the world in probably an entirely different way. However, that all has to do with the experiences that you will encounter because of the illness or not. But if it's something mental, the very vaccination itself is changing your entire life. Everything you think about, every interaction you make with anything, it's going to be different because you do not think like you would have thought. So basically what I'm saying is that I don't think there should be any vaccinations for any mental disorders, no matter how bad they are, really. Like, this includes depression and suicidal thoughts. Like, I don't think it's okay to ever mess with someone's mind before they even have a chance to live at all. Because if you try and cure people's thinking, you're going to create this streamlined human experience. And essentially what these vaccinations are going to ultimately try and do, their ideal purpose, would be to kind of eliminate pain and internal struggle. I know pain is bad, but I think it's wrong to try and wipe out an entire emotion, because really they're medicating negative feelings before you even get a chance to feel them. Now, I feel like my take on this is fairly similar to Finn's, but he said something that I really, really want to talk about. And I'm pretty sure his reasoning was closer to mine than what he kind of worded it like, but I just want to clarify one thing. He said that if you cure transgender people so they don't exist anymore in society, then you're going to be creating a world where there's no one who lives outside the binary. Here are two things that I need you to take out of this video. If you don't listen to anything else I say, you need to listen to this, because this is really important. Being transgender does not mean you are outside of the binary. There are plenty binary trans people. And most importantly, people who are outside of the binary who do not live by gender norms, that does not make you trans. Let's say you were born a female. You could wear boys' clothes, you could have played with trucks and Power Rangers when you were little, you could give your middle finger to gender roles all day. And if you are still comfortable being a woman, then you are a woman, and there is nothing wrong with that. I think some people recently have come to the conclusion that if you push society's like gender norms enough, then suddenly you fall under this trans umbrella. And the fact is, if you identify with your birth sex, that's what you are. You can be 100% not binary and still be cisgender, and that does not make you any less queer. There is something different about being transgender. It's different than breaking gender norms. And that's where this idea of a cure comes from. There's something different about this gender and this gender, and it makes people, I'm gonna go with the word unhappy here. There is something unpleasant about this disconnect that's happening, and that's what makes you not cisgender. If I were a butch woman, you have no idea how proud of that I would be. But the thing is, I'm not. I'm a man with a condition, and some of you probably don't see it that way. But for me, that's how it is. And for a large portion of my life, I was perceived as a butch woman, and that was so not okay with me. So you know what? I took the cure. So Dana's asking, would you take a cure? I did. I'm over a year on hormones. I've had top surgery. That was my cure. And now I can say that I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with how people see me. I'm happy with how I look. I feel like I can connect with myself. I feel like other people connect with me how I feel like they should. I am still transgender, but I've cured the bad parts of it. And if Dana would have asked me this question when I was going through that period where everyone was looking at me like I was a woman and I knew that I wasn't, if he would have asked me, here's a pill, do you want to take it? It'll turn you into a cis man, a cis woman, whatever. Yeah, I 100%, there's no doubt that I would have taken it because that was hell. I mean, it's taken a lot of effort and time and money to get to where I am right now to be happy and have a quick fix. That would have been perfect back then. But if he would have asked me now, here's a pill, it'll make you a cis woman or a cis man. No, I wouldn't. Because I achieved happiness, and I've lived quite an amazing life, part of it due to my experiences as a trans person. And now that I'm happy, there's nothing that I'd want to do to change my past because I'm happy now. And to be honest, even though I'm happy now, if the pill didn't change my past and I could take it and be a cis man, I would really consider that. I would never be a cis woman. If I were to take a pill and become a cis man, I would suddenly have a congruent body with my mind. Taking a pill and becoming a cis woman, that's not a cure. That's just shape-shifting, transforming, I don't know, that's something mystical that isn't curing anything. So to sum this all up, I'd say I really, really like who I am, and however I got here to who I am, I wouldn't want to change that because I like myself a lot. But there was a time when I didn't like myself so much, and I would have done anything to get out of it, so I did. And if I would have been presented with an easier way to get out of it, I would have taken it. Instead, I had to do everything that I've done. And that's okay with me, because I think I've lived a great life. Cool. And I know this is kind of a controversial topic, and I probably said some things that didn't sit so well with some people, but I'm okay with that because I'm just saying what I think, and I like that we kind of had a really serious topic. So thank you, Dana, and I will just leave you all with a picture of me and Dana together after my surgery, because that exists, so I feel like you should all see it. See you next time. You'll get to see me in my underwear.